Hi guys, as you all probably know, FFXIII-2 was announced recently, and that's going to be released this year. Now, I wasn't a very big fan of FFXIII-13, but nevertheless, I thought its battle system was a good foundation, and am curious to see how they're going to build upon it in the sequel. So, basically after finishing FFXIII-13, I wrote up a list of things that they could add to the existing FFXIII-13 battle system, just to give it a bit more variety, make it a bit more fun. So just going to go through that list today and see what they could be adding to FFXIII-2. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is a limit break system. There was originally going to be a limit break system in FFXIII-13, you can see it in some of the old screenshots, but it was taken out for completely unknown reasons. Limit breaks have proved themselves to be great last chance attacks, and really made the player feel empowered. They've allowed for incredible, cinematic finishing moves, and often save players' lives in difficult battle. Additionally, it's a fairly balanced ability, as there is a significant delay based upon damage to the player between each use of the technique. Alright, the next area we're going to look at is summons. Now, in FFXIII-13, as you may know, each character had one summon creature, they could only summon that one creature, it was basically bound to them as part of a story. However, this meant that if you liked a particular summon creature, you would have to use their particular corresponding character. Now, if the corresponding character was under-leveled, or you just didn't like using them, or they didn't fit in your party configuration, that essentially meant that you couldn't use the summon creature that you wanted, which just kinda sucks. So I think in FFXIII-2, or whatever else builds upon this battle system, the player should be allowed to use all of the summon creatures, no matter which character they're using. Furthermore, there should also be far more summon creatures. I mean, there are only 6 in FFXIII-13. Now, I can tell you there are a lot more than that in all the previous games, and they were always quite varied and interesting, and had a wide range of applications. So I think definitely up the ante on that front. I think that the player should have far more attacks and abilities than they did in FFXIII-13. You basically had all the usual magic spells, although missing some of the top tier ones like Ultima. You had some defensive moves and a few offensive physical moves, but that was it. Where's Steel, where's Ninjutsu, where's Throw, where's Chakra, where's Dark Attacks, where's Sense, where's Death Blow? It was missing a lot of abilities that the old FFXIII games had, and which added to the variety in the battle system. So, I think I'd like to see some more returning abilities, some different abilities, and some new ones. I think Ravage was the only real new special command in FFXIII-13. Okay, now on the subject of weapons, there was a very limited number of weapons in FFXIII-13. Personally, I think the game could benefit from a more generalised approach. For example, Lightning can use swords, but these can include long swords, short swords, two-handed swords, and gunblades. SARS can use guns, but these could include handguns, rifles, grenade launchers, etc. More varied weapon choices mean that the player has to make more tactical decisions. So for example, do they want the attack power of a two-handed gun, or the speed of handguns, or something like that. I believe this would help take away from some of the linearity of upgrades and new weapons and that sort of thing that FFXIII-13 suffered from. What we're going to talk about next is something that I'm going to call the Clash. This was sort of shown in the first FFXIII-13 trailer, when Lightning clashes swords against what I think was a blue soldier. Anyway, but it's not in the game. What I'm envisioning is a system where if a player attacks at the same time as the enemy that they're targeting attacks, the two parties get into a clash. So for example, Lightning and a guard get into a sword lock. This could be done by different types of, attacking with the same type of attack. So for example, physical attack plus physical attack equals clash, ranged attack plus ranged attack equals clash, magic attack plus magic attack equals clash, etc. How this would be resolved, I'm not entirely sure. Button mashing, quick time event, using the analog stick to angle your attack and try and overcome your opponent. Possibly it could even become a rock paper scissors scenario. Maybe magic attacks could also have an elemental aspect thrown in. e.g. a fire attack overcomes an ice attack in a clash. One of the most annoying aspects of Final Fantasy XIII's battle system was basically that once you set up the character that you were using in the menu, you were stuck to that character, and if they died, it was game over, even if all your other characters were still alive. So basically, allow the player to switch between characters they're using in the midst of battle. I'm sure using L2 and R2 or something like that to switch characters would work fine. Additionally, make it so that if the character I'm playing as dies, I do not get a game over screen. Rather, my controller is simply shifted to another party member, that is until all three have died. When changing paradigms in battle, either make the rest of the battle stop whilst the game shows your character shifting paradigm, or remove the cutscene element altogether, and just make it an animation which runs simultaneously to the battle and does not interrupt the player's control. Under the existing model from Final Fantasy XIII, I can be killed whilst in the middle of a paradigm shift cutscene, and that just seems a bit silly to me. Finally, I personally think that having 4 party members would move faster and allow for a bit more variety in battle. Just a personal preference though. Alright, that's pretty much it from me. If you guys have any ideas on how to build upon Final Fantasy XIII's battle system, then please leave your ideas in the comments. Okay, well thanks for watching guys, and see you later.